What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? It is I, Randy, with RTS Mobile Gaming, bringing you another fantastic video today. We are playing Sea of Conquest, and we are talking about the Storm Slayer build today, folks. This build is absolutely dynamite, inspired by ultra-high armor, ultra-high crit resistance, and a gigantic amount of Stormbringer damage output. This is the build that I am going to be running into the end game for Season 2. It is now my new favorite build ever. It does a little bit less damage than my previous favorite build, but the tankiness is out of this world. I'm going to show you a report where I did die, but it was a very long battle against multiple other level 31, 32, 33 enemy ships, okay? It was a massive team fight. It was a gangbang. I was getting absolutely murdered and attacked by all these people at once. I was able to still put out way more damage than I received and really almost sunk the enemy 33 and a couple other ships in this engagement. Get excited. We'll talk about the build in just a second. Here we go. So this is the combat report. As you can see, it opened against a level 31, who I took down a decent amount of HP here. Level 28 joined the fight. Then we had the 33 come in, and I switched to him and tried to kill him. I almost got him down. He got pretty close. I killed one of his minions. Two more of them about to fall off the face of the earth. Okay, another level 31 in here, gangbanging me. I also took to half health. So much damage. Here's a 26. Here's a 29. Here's another 29. Here is another level 31 again where I almost killed this dude. Okay, this was a crazy engagement. All right, so much death and destruction. Another 31 almost down. This was an intense combat. There was a lot of stuff going on. And as you saw at the start of the report, I did die. So I figured this is a great way to show you how this build works, because you really got to see a stress test where I lost in the end. I consider this kill-death ratio against these many enemy large ships over 31 a massive win in my favor. But let's take a look at the actual damage report, and then I'll walk you through how the build works. It's really, really exciting, okay? So, as you can see here, I have a ginormous amount of healing, okay? 12 million healing over the course of this fight off my strategy ship. The strategy ship also, because Griffin punches like a Mack truck, still did incredible damage for not being a main damage ship. The two main damage ships in this build, of course, are going to be Cutthroat here, where you can see Bones, Kojo, and Luna coming in hot. And then we have the Burning Hybrid build, where Tanaka is just absolutely raking in the cash with almost 13 million damage output by himself. Okay, and then last coming up there, we have the artillery ship, also pumping out pretty substantial damage considering I have no bonuses in my gems for artillery. I am running 2 bonuses in my gems for Cutthroat and 2 bonuses in my gems for burn damage. Okay, let's take a quick look at the gem specialization, then we'll get into the actual build itself. It's really, really exciting stuff. Okay, so as you can see here, I have a little bit of attack, I have a little bit of impact. What you don't see is crit rate and crit damage, which is new for me. I have moved away from crit rate and crit damage for this version of the build. I'm now into immense static damage over time, steady damage, okay, and then an incredible amount of survivability. You can see that very clearly because I have all of my defensive gems into critical resistance, okay? Not only do I have all of my defensive gems into critical resistance, I also have all of my ship parts into critical resistance and armor. As you can see here, this is my Stormbringer, my main damage dealer in this entire fleet. Okay, instead of running HP on the sails and things like that, I'm running Sovereign set so I get HP and armor, and then I'm running armor bonus on the sails. Just the sails and the set bonus alone are going to give me 40% bonus armor for my build, which is going to make me take very little damage. Now you saw I had 2 gems ready for impact, but even with 2 gems in impact for almost 20% bonus impact, I'm still only just under 2,800 impact on this ship. Okay, and my armor far exceeds my impact, which means anybody else who does not have more impact than my armor will be dealing much less damage to me with every single hit. In addition, All of my ships are equipped, except for the Warhammer, with a critical resistance figurehead, okay? Which means I'm going to have an incredible amount of critical strike resistance chance on all of my ships. The Stormbringer is unique because it does have a weapon that also has 7.5% critical strike resistance on the weapon, so it's even more powerful here for this particular ship. But with all of those bonuses aligned, I'm at 68%. So that means all my other ships are over 60% crit resistance. My Stormbringer is at 68% crit resistance. And like I said, I move entirely into attack and impact bonuses on the gems, okay? So, what are we trying to do? We are trying to get to a point where I'm no longer relying on critical strikes, and I am using critical strike resistance and armor to completely counter the enemy damage output. Because of that, I'm able to survive a tremendous length of time in these fights, okay? All of my ships are set up similarly, okay, with Sovereign set. Even my Warhammer has the Sovereign set equipped. The Sovereign set on the Warhammer has a slight differential because I am using the Bones Trinket. This trinket is too good to not use. It is one of the best trinkets in the game. Its bonuses are amazing. So for that reason, I have kept a crit build on the Warhammer. And because I have that weapon, I'm able to run critical strike damage on the figurehead, okay? And with critical strike damage on the figurehead, I am still able to get out really, really impressive critical stats for the Warhammer, considering this is a very defensive build, okay? So I have 29.2% crit resist, because it's from my gems and 1 or 2 pieces of gear. My crit rate's at 69, and crit damage is at 137. I may still consider switching this to a critical strike resistance figurehead in the future, but for right now, I am liking this particular version of the build. And overall, as you can see, my damage bonuses are fantastic. And again, 3,400 armor because, again, I am running armor bonus on the Warhammer's sail, okay? I have moved the Flagship back into the Ahab Cursed Ed Magnus. This is the best build for the Flagship. I've tested a lot of Flagship builds in Season 2. This is hands down the best one. It beats out Delilah, although Delilah is really interesting. It beats Delilah. It beats having Barnacle in your first mate slot with the Drowning debuff set on. I didn't get a whole lot of effectiveness from that set, and Cursed Ed is just amazing. He applies a ton of debuffs to the enemy and is very, very high constitution. And it allows me to use a speed sail on this set, because I have such high constitution. Now I can move super fast. I can really kite people around the map, draw people out of position, and finish them. That's what I did in this fight. I engaged, I pulled back, I engaged, I pulled back, I engaged, and I just kept peppering them and murdering them over and over and over. It was phenomenal. Okay, so that's the overall build, folks. It is an incredibly high defense set, okay? Again, we're using Sovereign of the Seas on 4 of my ships. The 5th ship is going to be the artillery set because this set does give such high bonuses for defense, right? 15% less damage taken, which is amazing by itself all the time, all right? And I can put an armor bonus sail on this. Now, the only reason I'm using critical rate figurehead on this artillery set is because getting a critical resistance artillery ship part has been tremendously difficult. I've gotten 8 or 9 figureheads and they've all been crit rate or crit damage. I've never seen a crit resist figurehead for artillery. Once I get a crit resist figurehead, I will put it on my artillery ship. I do not need critical strike rate on this ship. Okay, so how does the build work, guys? Well, if you know me, you know I love long, drawn-out fights. So I go in, I get gangbanged by 8 or 9 ships, I kite them, I get maybe 2 of them by themselves, I turn around and I zero them. Then I go back into the fray and I pull 1 or 2 more out and then I murder them. And that's how this build plays. This build plays very, very nicely because you are not going to get bursted down by enemy cutthroat builds. All of my ships have tremendous critical strike resistance, with the exception, of course, of my Crimson Sentinel. But the Crimson Sentinel itself has tremendous armor bonuses from its built-in deal here, and the 15% less damage taken overall. So the armor on this ship is going to really really stupendous. And again, I would like to run crit resistance on this ship to really round it out perfectly. So, this was here's an enemy 31 to kill live on this video for you. This has been a fantastic fight for group fight builds. It also has been performing really, really well in straights. And again, this build is not designed for straights, but when I tell you it has been dominating the enemies like you wouldn't believe. Did that guy run away? He did not. I will pull that up in just a second. Let's kill this guy. Down goes the ink. And this isn't really a fair fight because he's 31, I'm 33. But what I'm seeing in straights is I have so much armor that unless you're a level 35 with maxed out stargazing, you're going to be dealing tremendously reduced damage to me no matter what. I've been completely dominating all of the enemies of equal or higher level in straights, except for level 35 people with maxed out stargazing. You can see I'm taking almost no damage from that guy. Almost no damage. Again, not a fair fight. I'm a higher level, but here you see it again. Cutthroat and Burning coming in with an absolute rock hard fist. Okay, taking no damage here. Really, really fantastic. And that's how the build runs. Let's pull up some straight clashes so you can see. I'm not going to kill this enemy level 35 who's sitting there. This dude is pretty close to my power. I'm at 30 million. He's at 29. Let me just show you what happens in this fight. You are going to see my Crimson Sentinel probably drop a little bit faster than the other ships, which is a good thing because it is my bait ship and it is designed to have incredible armor and take very low damage. Okay? You are going to see the burn damage start out slow. He might even pass me in damage output in the start of this fight, but I will catch up very soon. And overall, the amount of armor that I have is just making his damage almost non-existent. It just absolutely dramatically reduces the damage that I'm taking. And again, the fact that I'm taking no critical hits is really impressively fantastic. Okay, I'm only taking potential critical strike hits on 2 of my ships. It's very rare you find people with higher than 60 to 70% critical strike chance that aren't mega whales. And he is a whale, and he may have his main ship at 80 or 90%. If you take out the 68% on my Stormbringer, maybe you're only hitting me with a 15% chance to critical strike. So I'm negating 2 damage stats with that, which is why I like critical resistance so much. You not only negate the critical strike chance, but by negating the critical strike chance, you're devaluing every point of critical strike damage. So just reducing the critical strike chance to be hit is a 2-for-1, knocking out the low-hanging fruit of some of people's chief damage instances. And here you see, folks, absolutely no contest here. I have taken almost no damage. I have massacred him. Let's fast forward. Look at the damage report on that. And let's just see what happens here, okay? So as you can see, burning at 12.7 million damage, okay? 8.3 million healing. Really, really great damage there. Really great damage on Cutthroat with almost 12 million. Okay, really fantastic. And look at this, folks. Artillery with no bonuses. Artillery with no bonus gems here, giving my artillery a damage boost, is coming in with really fantastic damage as well, which is great to see. It's just slow and steady, high attack, high impact, penetrating your face, while I take no damage, get no crits, and dominate the universe. So, if you have enjoyed this video where I've yelled at you nonstop for 12 minutes now, please like and subscribe. I've had a blast. Randy, out.